Hello my boys, today I'm gonna be explaining to y'all what are the worst and some of the best maps in those remain to play on. So these particular maps, if you wanna farm and grind, I'll list them here. So without wasting your time, let's begin. First up, we have Expressway. Expressway is probably easily the best map in those remain. Not only it's good for farming, and also before the update, this was, insanely OP for farms. And it's still in the #1 spot because there's only two ways for the infected to come and attack you, and it is from the front and the back. This map is the best for camping, obviously, as you just need 50 kills placed correctly for hardcore. In classic or regular, you just simply push and protect your rear side and win. Secondly, we have wrong strip, I meant cargo. Sadly, some of the gigantic maps such as like ranch and others have to be put aside since the game updated and zombies in hardcore mode are way faster and very intense too. Anyways, cargo is still really good even though it's a pretty big map, but the spawns for each infected are behind gates or fences, so they will have to walk around it and have a slow time getting in. Other than the item spawns are in a really good placement, such as it being in the back where player spawns, which that is a very plus for this map. And the map is generally good other than the helicopter lands in one area, which kinda sucks. And that is the main cargo ship in the middle on the high bridge thing for the cargo ship. But this one goes aside. Third and most known, bypass. Bypass still has some room for improvements, such as the horrible spawn glitches for some infecteds, but that is a fix for later for the game devs, I'm pretty sure. Other than it has alright spawn placement for items, I guess, and good enough objective locations. It is a map for who would like to challenge themselves a bit more and deal with some intense farming, since the map is very hard to play on if you're just playing it for the farms and grinding. That's it. The map is generally good for camping in hardcore mode since zombies are faster than players. That's it for this map. Our fourth map on the list is MANOR, which may be a very upcoming surprise for all of you watching, since this map has pretty bad spawn locations, like spawning outside the big mansion obviously, but other than the spawn locations for each player being a disaster, it's not the worst spawn for players yet. Yes, sure, the item spawns are pretty hard to remember too, but the infected spawn outside the mighty mansion, so it's not as worse, right? And other than that, it has a lot of camping spots for a matter of fact, so it is an alright map for hardcore, but just don't waste your items since the spawns are insanely randomized and infecteds just come out of nowhere pretty much from the mansion, and pretty stupid for some areas too. And the fifth map is the laboratory. The lab map is usually the most hated map for the spawns for beginner players, since you spawn in an area which has another spawn for the infecteds where they will come from, so if you're AFK, you're still in danger from behind obviously. And if you think moving forward inside the lab is any good, oh buddy, you are dead wrong. The inside of the lab, you are greeted with a couple of zombies speeding from their spawn locations, aka above the lab, or in other words the roof of the map. And the best camping spot to camp in this map, the laboratory map, will be the parking garage, but because zombies are now faster in hardcore, you might want to be faster and get a couple of teammates into the parking area before all of you die in a hurry. And I don't advise you doing any objectives at wave 16 to 20, since the objectives are horribly placed in this map for hardcore game mode, and also in the dumbest locations ever, such as like the smallest room ever possible, like a computer room. Just don't do it, alright? I don't recommend you doing the objectives if you're in a very almost high wave hardcore map, so you just might need to camp a lot on this map. And sixth map would be a map called Ranch. I know most of you are pretty confused why this map is not even close with Expressway nor Cargo. Well, Here, I'll tell you something. Mainly because camping location for this map is really outnumbered and also outdated for the fact for hardcore game modes, and by the fact wave 19 on or 20 on hardcore zombies spawn way too much. They lag and it's just annoying, alright? And also they can like outspeed your camping spot in the barn or anywhere literally. Running around is kinda useless now, and that's the major problem about the huge gigantic maps. And so item spawns are predictable, but the infected spawns are kind of predictable too. And now it's just more so don't get overrun and swarm since they spawn in fast and hardcore. The 8th map is Mill. Since this map in particular is not really useful for any camping spots or farming areas, and also since the map is very open and the infected spawns around like a half circle rotation from the cliffs to the icy lake and towards the creepy hills over there. And then other than infected spawns are very OP, the item spawns are good enough, I guess. Objectives are pretty horrible since you'll have to walk across like the entire freaking map just to do an objective. Well, that's depending on where you spawn, obviously. If you spawn near the objective, it's good, but most of the time you won't. You'll need to go around obstacles and kill the zombies midway, and then the objective is already been done by other players, and that's the objective. 9th map on this list is Prison. In the prison map, you obviously spawn in a prison, but that's not all. The infected spawns are insanely OP. I mean, sure, they will have to go around the walls and fences of the prison, but like that's just a matter of time until you get swarmed in hardcore. Remember, hardcore is insane, and not only the infected runs faster than you, they are also incredibly aggressive for an AI. The only best camping spot for prison that I know is the open high fences, since the infecteds can't get you unless you don't camp, obviously, and they only have one way to get in, and that's to if someone has a 50 cal over there, they will be fine until they run out of ammo and die from below. Since infecteds can locate players aggressively quick, it's pretty OP. And finally, the worst map of them all, the 10th map, also known as Cabin. This map is literally the worst map ever in Dozer Main, as for now at least. And since this map is literally insanely small for the players to run around, camp, loot, or do objectives. Like, let's have an overview of the map. That's it. Yeah, because the map is literally just a cabin with a basement in the middle of nowhere. I mean, sure, you can go outside further until, yeah, you go outside until you hit the infected spawns or an invisible wall and die from the infecteds. There's no point proving for this map as the best one. The camping spot is horrible, the item spots are horrible placement because it's only near or inside the cabin. You can't just go further and see, oh god, there's ammo lying on the freaking grass or like trees. Oh my god, there's a jack-in-the-box in the trees, holy crap. And also the objectives are almost too impossible to do in hardcore. There's no way you will do them alone in hardcore. You would need all the players, not only 7 or 6, you will need probably all of them just to camp around the objective. And it is not the best map to pick because it's also pretty dark for some players depending on their screen brightness, but for most people it's actually dark. And also a good placement for the 50 cal wouldn't even matter since the AI are insanely aggressive anyways. So there you have it, folks. From the best to the worst maps in the game. Hope you boys enjoyed this one. And yes, I'm trying to switch up my content a bit for better entertainment and just skill set, to be honest. So yeah, have a good rest of your day or night, and have a good holiday for the Christians who are watching this video, and see ya.